Hello, folks. I'm Danny Elsner. Welcome to Friday Football Fever Overtime. Our second-round playoff starter starts in Forney. The Whitehouse Wildcats and the Sulphur Springs Wildcats meeting for the second time this season. Let's go to Garrett Sanders with an update. Garrett.
Danny, last season, Patrick Mahomes had a field day every single time throwing to a senior, Dylan Cantrell. Well, Cantrell's now playing for the Texas Tech Red Raiders. But this year, he's got another guy who's pretty good as well, named Jake Parker. And you'll see in these highlights how good he really is. Let's go to the highlights. Now, it was cold and nasty today in Forney, but those two were as hot as ever. First possession, Mahomes breaks the tackle. He's going to roll out and finds Parker, who fights for the ball, and he fights for another Whitehouse first down. But he wasn't done yet. Mahomes heaves it up, and Parker is going to cut underneath the defense, and he strolls in 15 yards for the opening touchdown, 7-0 Whitehouse. And it may have been cold with the maroon. They were out today. Next Whitehouse possession, though. Mahomes forced to punt, but Sulphur Springs is going to muff it. And it's nothing but a bunch of white shirts diving on it. Who comes out with it? Ryan Cheatham. Now, here's the thing, though. They would not score on this drive right there, but they would on this one right here. Big play here. Mahomes rolls out. The ball is going to be tipped, and it is rebounded by Jake Parker, and he's going to go 80 yards, 15-10-5, touchdown, Whitehouse. And Jake Parker all over the field today. And take a look at the final here. Whitehouse beats Sulphur Springs for the second time this year. This time they win 38-14. And Danny, of course, in the highlights, what you see there is the Whitehouse offense. And we know how great they are. Patrick Mahomes, Jake Parker, all the guys that make this offense run. Of course, you got Coach Adam Cook, who's an offensive mind. His offensive mind, he's all over this team out here. But tonight, Danny, it is extremely cold out here. The wind chill, the rain. So you saw when the game started tonight, both teams were very slow. Actually, Whitehouse fumbled the opening kickoff. They got back on it, but the guy, it hit him in the hands, and you could just tell he wasn't used to his fingers not reacting as fast as they usually do. But it was that Whitehouse defense tonight that really kept Sulphur Spring in check, because this thing actually was pretty close before Whitehouse pulled ahead. It was 21-7 at halftime. With the first drive of the second half, Sulphur Springs got the football and went right down the field, rushed the ball right down Whitehouse's throat, 21-14 at that point. But then it just started to snowball for Whitehouse. They got their offense in gear in the second half, and the defense clamped down. One of the things that also kept Sulphur Springs in the game early was Whitehouse not being able to convert on fourth down. You saw that punt fumble that Whitehouse got there. That was a huge play for Whitehouse, because that looked like they were about to pour it on in the first, second quarter, but they went for it on fourth down, didn't get it. Now, Coach Cook has done this before, because you've got this kind of great offense. It doesn't matter what it is. It's 4th and 8, 4th and 6. I've seen Whitehouse go for it on 4th and 13 and still get it. That's the kind of offense it is. But in the weather tonight, it was a lot tougher, and Sulphur Springs, give them a lot of credit. They had a lot more, at least on their defensive side, played a lot better than they did early in the season against Whitehouse. But going back to the Whitehouse Wildcats, it really just does show how good this team is. We know how good they are on offense. But, Danny, it's that defense that I believe can really give them a chance to go deep into the playoffs. Next week, another tough test against Mesquite Petite. Little step up from Sulphur Springs. We'll see if they can handle business next week.
Garrett, I don't want you to catch pneumonia. I want you to go ahead and come on back. Thank you very much for that report. And for Whitehouse, to sum it up before we let you go, Whitehouse now has had 3 very emotional games in a row. The John Tyler win by 1 point at the regular season finale. Then, of course, the Wild comeback in overtime last week in the first round of the playoffs. And now this, playing in very tough windy conditions and cold conditions. Coaches will usually tell you that the wind is tougher than the cold. But I was talking to Scott Chesner, the wind chill factor tonight in most of these games, 32 degrees. So it was freezing, tough for the fans. Whitehouse showed me a lot tonight by being able to play in the elements. Thank you very much for your time, Garrett. Come on back, get in the warm car, and come on home. Garrett Sanders reporting from 40 tonight.
Will do, Danny.
Now we'll take you